Get ready for the iCar.
What's your take on the resurgence of this Apple automobile?
It's easy to understand why there is so much interest in this story. Just imagine Tim Cook taking the stage there before a live audience and introducing an Apple car.
We have confirmed from multiple sources that Apple is in discussions with Hyundai Kia to build an Apple car.
Rumors of an Apple car started in 2014, with more details flooding the news cycle in 2015.
We've seen this kind of reporting in the past with Apple, and then nothing happens.
For years, automakers have been trying to integrate your phone into your car, and now it feels like this has been turned on its head. It's integrating your car essentially into your phone. Elon Musk himself said it was harder than, launching a rocket. So, I mean, there it pretty much is.
During a shareholders meeting with Tim Cook in 2016, he said news about the car project will be, quote, like Christmas Eve for a while. Apple is one of the most valuable companies in the world, and it could become massively more valuable if it can make a splash in cars. When Apple launched the iPhone, there were already several other companies making smartphones, but Apple made a product that was so unique that it changed the industry for more than a decade. If Apple can do the same thing with a car, it's probably going to succeed. The global auto and mobility market is worth about $10 trillion compared to the measly $715 billion smartphone market. Reuters reported in December of 2020 that Apple was looking to start production of its car by 2024, but the vision of an automobile developed inside of Apple well before then. Steve Jobs was reportedly considering the idea back in 2008, but the auto industry was looking grim.
The big three are asking the federal government for between $7 and $18 billion each.
Bankruptcy at this point in time would be cataclysmic for the economy. I really believe that.
Besides, Apple had just launched the iPhone in 2007 and was on its way to redefining the smartphone and the Apple brand. Apple has made some interesting investments and partnerships. The company gave $1 billion to Chinese Uber competitor Didi Chuxing in 2016, which strengthened Apple's ties to the mobility industry and self-driving technology boom. Talent from BlackBerry, NASA, and others have been commissioned for the project. Even former Tesla employees have been courted to Project Titan, including former Tesla Autopilot, powertrain, mechanical design, firmware engineers, and global supply chain managers. That certainly raised some eyebrows. Musk called it the Tesla graveyard in 2015. Apple stock got a bump after Reuters reported Apple could launch its car by 2024. The stock jumped again on the heels of the news that Hyundai Kia could be partnering to produce the car in Georgia. Reports thus far have been speculation about an electronic vehicle with better battery technology, autonomous driving technology, and a signature Apple design. Tesla is a rare example of how a newcomer can reimagine the slow-moving and exclusive auto industry. But it took Tesla 17 years before it finally turned a sustained profit. Tesla has spent billions of dollars on its battery and car factories, and it plans to build many more. In its first fiscal quarter of 2021, iPhone and iPad sales pushed Apple's revenue to over $100 billion for the first time ever. And Apple's services business is doing well too. Elon Musk said that Apple might have a harder time building a car than it did building a smartphone or a watch, saying, quote, "You can't just go to a supplier like Foxconn and say, build me a car." Funny thing is, Foxconn, Apple's main iPhone and iPad assembler, is now very much involved in the automotive industry, partnering with Chinese car manufacturer Zhejiang Geely.
The future is more than just perhaps selling the metal that's on the wheels. It's also the value that's being created as those wheels turn, whether that's the data that the user has or potentially that ecosystem within the car. So there's value there to unlock. And car companies are saying, well, why are we going to give that to Apple? Why can't we do that?
Autonomous driving capabilities are looking to be a big part of the Apple car as well, a technology that is notoriously difficult to develop.
Manufacturing the cars, the distribution, that's the easy part. The hard part with self-driving, which is what they're aiming at, is getting the AI technology working to the point that you can put these cars on the road and not have them hit and kill people. And I don't think Apple's at that point right now.
Alphabet-owned Waymo says it has already logged millions of miles of driving on public roads to fine-tune its driverless cars. In 2020 alone, Waymo logged almost 629,000 miles in California, whereas Apple counted almost 19,000. And Waymo is already well on its way to launching its autonomous driving technology, having penned deals with the likes of Jaguar.
If you look at the average selling price of the iPhone in this most previous quarter, I believe one analyst was saying it's the highest they've ever seen it. And that is in large part because of the higher end phones, these $1,000 Pro models that they're selling. And so Apple has done a very good job over the years of getting the high end of the market and then getting into the lower end of the market. The question is, what kind of car is Apple seeing the market for?
Graphical interfaces on computers, portable music players, smartphones, smartwatches, earbuds. So its introduction to the world of cars could have a profound impact on the auto industry and the tech industry. One of the most interesting things about this move from Apple is the huge amount of cash the company has. In Q1 of 2021, Apple had $195 billion on hand.
You know, for $40 billion, they could probably buy Ford and come out with the two iconic American brands partnering up for the 21st century, and it would be a home run for everybody, I bet.
I don't think Ford wants to be bought by Apple, but I think for Apple, it's really that idea of thinking about it differently and almost redesigning from scratch. I don't think that they want to go with another company that's already invested in this space. It's kind of like that radical redesign and rethinking about how you can make a product.
The rise of Silicon Valley in the car industry has made a lot of car companies say they need to be more aggressive in kind of developing car 2.0, if you will. Is Apple going to be a player, or are they ultimately going to decide that they don't have something that they want to offer that is going to be competitive?
In terms of, a cell phone, unless it can like teleport a human into where you are, it feels like there's not necessarily the possibility for, like you said, that wow factor, that like jaw-dropping moment. Whereas in transportation, I think the opportunity is ripe for all of a sudden a massive leap forward. The car companies are just under siege, essentially. I mean, they're fighting for their own survival. If they don't do this, they will literally become extinct. So, in terms of what they do moving forward, it has to be, they really have to push the envelope.
Do you see Apple building a car and that maybe being a threat to you?
Encourage more participation by whoever it is to create electric vehicles. It's quite hard to do, but I think companies like Apple will probably make a compelling electric car. It seems like the obvious thing to do.
Are you betting that that's going to happen? Have you heard anything?
Well, it's pretty hard to hide something if you hire over 1,000 engineers to do it.
So you think Apple are serious about it?
Yeah, I do. This is an open secret.
Apple versus Tesla long term, I think that's where all the sparks are going to fly.